connections to agro-enterprises so they can sell what they produce, and increase access to capital to communal partnerships, which commonly take the form of female-led self-help groups. So let's look at two examples, both of which I visited and interacted with, of how these ideas are applied. The Kelpo village in Dading district is located in central Nepal, and I've interacted with around 15 families there. Here, women-led self-help groups are active and is a prime example for Heifer's values-based community development. And in addition, Heifer has previously given to the village the gift of goats, some of which are injured and their pens damaged due to the earthquake. Heifer re-donated livestock, provided training on how to raise the goats and how to breed them, and rebuilt the goat pens. And 2 years later, though the implementation of Heifer's model is still in its infancy here, there's a possibility that this village may escape poverty. Another project village is Durali project area in the Nawaparasi district in northwest Nepal. And this project village is in a later stage of Heifer's model than Kelper, as Kelper was in its second year of intervention while the Durali was in its fourth. So for example, the Durali project village has successfully integrated itself into the market, has established a community fund, developed infrastructure including road and sewage, provided educational opportunities and healthcare to the village's children through the community fund, and established a community where women and men both participate. So what this shows is that the Heifer model actually works. While Heifer has received much donations, many of their funds are committed to the poor and have had tangible results. And the second NGO I encountered was All Hands Volunteers, which was founded in 2005 as a disaster relief organization. They send in volunteers to disaster-stricken regions and with partnerships with local NGOs assist in relief, restoration, and rebuilding efforts. And All Hands Volunteers shows the value and the worth of the volunteers, for it is not centrally organized, but coordinated and run solely by the volunteers on the ground. And so they epitomize active, not passive participation as they get their hands dirty to actually help the communities. So in its 14-year history, volunteers from 94 nations participate in 56 relief programs and has helped around 100,000 families. And following the Nepal earthquake, 555 volunteers representing 47 nations put in 33,152 hours of volunteering to rebuild 4 schools and provided 1,720 students with educational opportunities. So from my Nepal experiences, I also learned a few lessons. And I've continued work with Hope for Nepal and have reiterated my experiences through writing articles. And later, 2 years ago, I also interned at the UN through a New York-based NGO. But more importantly, I've learned the importance of assessing the needs of an affected population before committing any relief efforts, for what is provided must be in line with what is needed. And I've also learned that the importance of the donor's responsibility to make sure an NGO is kept accountable, as well as the necessity for not only immediate relief, like providing food and aid, but rebuilding infrastructure like All Hands Volunteers has done, and promoting an impoverished family's livelihood by supporting them to achieve independence, which is Heifer International's main goal. And all of these activities together must be sustainable. And lastly, there needs to be constant cooperation between donor, recipient, NGOs, and international organizations to assess and provide the right kind of relief. So bring the conversation back to myself. My experiences with Heifer and in Nepal have stirred continued interest in the field of international development. As such, I have annually visited Nepal to continue my efforts and introduce this line of work to others. At Dartmouth, and I'm studying development economics as well as history and regular economics, and planning to initiate an advocacy group to promote the efforts of Heifer and the value of sustainability in international development.
자, 저희 다 자리에 앉아주시면